Hey, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Zach back in the house with another workout video, and you know what time it is. It was back day today. I've got some exciting news. Got a couple new videos that are going to come out early this next week with some different content to show you guys a little bit more outside of the gym and a little bit more into my personality and just my day-to-day doing. So look forward to those videos here early next week. Kicking off the workout, I started with some Smith machine rows, did 4 sets of 10. I wanted to do the Smith machine first just because my lower back has still been a little bit tight. So I actually did all of my rowing first while I was freshest so as to avoid being super fatigued at the end and then trying to do some rowing after my lats and traps and all that are trashed. I'd rather get it over with early. Let's see, after the Smith machine rows, I went ahead and did T-bar row. I've got 3 different clips here, just different angles. I chose to use the 45-pound plates today instead of the 35s or the 25s because once again my back was feeling tight. This way I don't go through as much range of motion, and I also have a little bit taller posture, as you can see here. Let's see, one more angle, just kind of showing you guys from the back as well how my shoulder blades are moving and just that my elbows are coming right about to my sides. I've talked about this before, but it's just a range of motion thing. Ever since I've been recording myself, I've been lifting for a long time, but ever since I've recorded myself, I've learned a few things, and one thing is I go through a big range of motion on a lot of things, sometimes needlessly. So even right there, it doesn't even feel like my elbows are coming all the way back to my sides, but they are. So it's just one of those things where shortening the range of motion sometimes can actually be beneficial, so you can just continue to hammer the target muscle groups without going through excessive range of motion. Let's see, after that, this is going to be second to last rowing movement for the day. I opted for a seated cable row. I took 2 single handles and attached them around one carabiner. So right here, it's just like the neutral, sort of the V-bar handle, except you can pull the handles apart right at the end, and you actually get a little bit more range of motion, which leads to some more scapular retraction right here. So the shoulder blade's coming together and actually pinching my stringer right there, as you can see. By this time, I was pretty sweaty. I don't rest long on this exercise at all, maybe 30 seconds between each set. So that's when the sweat starts coming and it never really stops. After that, I moved on to an isolateral row. No straps. I haven't been using straps on my rowing movements lately because of my low back being tight. I don't want to overdo the weight because then I'm, of course, with straps, your grip's not a limiting factor. So I don't want to overdo the weight. So I just do the weight that I can grip with, and that's kept some tension off my low back. Right here, I went with a pronated grip. You get more shoulder blade retraction here than you would with a neutral grip. So I've been trying to do this more and more. I'm weaker in this position with my elbows flared out, so I want to continue to improve that, and I really do anticipate getting even more upper back thickness. Let's see, so I decided to experiment a little bit. I went ahead and decided to do kettlebell rows. These, watching this again, form is maybe a little sloppier than I'm used to. This is a 97-pound kettlebell. I rode it for 4 sets of 12, 3 or 4 sets. This was my final rowing movement for the day. After the kettlebell rows, I went ahead and did 4 sets of 10 pull-ups. Started first with a pronated grip, so my palms are facing away. This would be the hardest pull-up variation right here. It's an understatement to say my lats were pretty smoked. I'm probably good for 20 pull-ups, and to get 4 sets of 10 was an absolute monster, absolute bear. So what I decided to do, I did my first 2 sets with a pronated grip, and then my second 2 sets I actually did, you can see right here, a neutral grip. And for any of you who have shoulder problems doing pull-ups, if you get any shoulder pain, I would highly recommend you try a neutral grip. It just puts your shoulder in a better position. Your elbows stay tucked closer to your side, so that should help relieve any shoulder pain you do have. And after pull-ups, I moved on to the old standby lat pull-downs. You can see here I have my straps on. I did not use my straps for basically any of these movements, but I did end up using them for a couple of shrugging motions at the end, and that was really beneficial. I mean, you guys will see later, and I'll talk about it, but there's the range of motion being so short on shrugs. It's important that you strap up because you can be holding onto the weight for quite a bit of time. So back to the topic at hand. Neutral pull down. So once again, just trying to hit the back from all different angles. By adjusting your hand grip, that changes your elbow position and your shoulder position. You're going to hit the upper back muscles in a little bit different way. I like to just cover my bases. It might not be a huge difference, but I do notice a difference in strength with the different hand positions. So I'm going to continue to hit all 3 pull down positions. Right here we got a supinated position, so you're involving your biceps a little bit more. And with this, I actually try to pull a little bit lower. I try to pull basically to nipple level here. And you can see I have a little bit of a backward lean as well, just to clear space for the bar. And, you know, with this too, I mean, I'm continuing to try to bring up my back thickness more than I am my back width. Of course, I want more thickness and width, but by putting all my rowing movements first, I'm actually prioritizing the thickness a little bit more than I am width, and that's something I want to continue to do in the future. Let's see, for you guys who have been following the channel, you guys know this is a staple of my back routine. I have been really enjoying using the rope. You can spread the rope at the bottom and get a little bit more shoulder extension. So as my elbow pulls down to my side, that's going to be shoulder extension. And that's one of the jobs of the lats. You can also see my triceps are activating as well because they do shoulder extension as well. So if you are feeling it through your triceps more than your lats, you might need to continue to play with your form. And another good tip I heard recently, and I kind of tried it on this set right here, is instead of pulling your hands down to your hips, think more about driving your elbows to your sides. It's still going to achieve the same motion, but you may be a little more connected with your lats by thinking about driving your elbows rather than pulling with your hands. And now we get to the last portion of the workout. This was all about my upper traps. I really like this power shrug machine. It's got a neutral grip, so my arms stay by my side, and I just find I get a better mind-muscle connection with my upper traps if my arms are by my side. And I think it's almost due to the fact that I stand a little bit more upright and I shrug up and back slightly. And you're going to see that right here. Up and back, and then you can see there's just a slight elbow bend that occurs right at the top. Now, I'm a guy that always try to keep my arms as straight as possible. But I watched a video recently of a guy that actually, massive traps, and he actually does it with a slight elbow bend at the top. And I tried that today, and the pump was out of this world. I had a better connection with my upper traps than I have my entire lifting career, so I'm going to continue to do that. And you can see I kind of carried on with the slightly bent elbow theme at the top. And once again, I don't even do barbell shrugs very often, but I am going to start doing them heavier. I just call this a barbell power shrug because I do use a little momentum to help get the weight up there. And I kept the reps relatively low. I don't think I did any more than 12 reps right there. And then finishing with one of my favorites, the rope face pull. You can see how I grip the handle just like you would do if you did a rope hammer curl. I just find that my shoulders agree more with this. These were nice and light right at the end of the workout, doing my best to get a full contraction through my back. And you can also see the rear delts are working quite a bit as well, which is completely fine by me. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.